Go. Preparing and live. All rightio. Good morning, and good afternoon, wherever you are in the world you find yourself. You have joined Lenny and Trevor on the green room. Thanks for joining us today, guys. We have got another exciting topic for you guys, all relevant to our applicants that are wanting to go to America, as always. But we're going to go through some of the talking points of currencies today. So welcome, everybody. This is a beautiful day in Joburg that we've got. We have just spoken to someone in Cape Town that there's a bit of storms and a bit of wind. Surprise, surprise. That might come to Joburg later on. But today we are good. Today we are live. Today we are still in the middle of COVID. We have got lots to moan about, but we've got lots to be grateful for as well. So with that said, Trev, will you start the intro for us?
Yes, absolutely. It's great to see some of our attendees coming in as we busy discuss. Welcome to everybody. We trust that you're keeping safe and healthy in this world that we live in at the moment. I must say that the Induku office was unfortunately hit with COVID. I myself had it first, and then Lenny and George and Belina. So it's been a little bit hectic, but we thank God we are healthy and on the mend. Guys, so yes, this is the Green Room, and it's a space where the Induku group comes before you and we present to you a number of different options. And just before Lenny talks to you a little bit about what the Green Room is, let me just share with you what Induku is. So myself and my business partner, Lenny, as well as George, what we do is we've got a wonderful group of people that stand behind the name Induku. And what we do is we help people and guide them on the right path if it is their wish and their desire and their dream to get to America. So very short, if it is your dream and desire and you have got this burning desire to get through to America and you wanted to do it on the right path, then you need to chat to us, the Induku group. We have got wonderful programs for the nurses that are out there. We've got an amazing program for truck drivers. We have got a program called Live Your Dream for people like Lenny, myself, and many others out there that can get into a position of getting a permanent employment in America, and on the back of that, a permanent residency, or the green card, as many know it. So if you are out there and you have been deliberating around the scenario about getting you and your family into America, please get in touch with one of us at the Induku group. We would love to meet with you, chat to you, take you through what we do and how we're doing it. We're very excited. Between August and September, we'll be opening up our Cape Town office as well. So we are expanding. We're looking to come down to Cape Town for a conference as well. And we're going to be doing one of those in Joburg as well. But yes, long story short, if it's your heart's desire, get in touch with us. We look forward to meeting with you. Lenny, a little bit about the Green Room.
Yes, guys. So Green Room, you have joined a very exciting space here today. And if you've been following us for a while, we want to thank you for that. We want to also encourage you to notify your friends about what we do and who we are. I'm sure that, when you can think back when we had Bry's and stuff together, it was a topic that a lot of you were talking about, which is immigration. And the thing about immigration space is that you always start from a negative basis when you start something new in this space, because there are so many scamsters out there, and there are so many people that give this whole industry a very, very bad name. So we took it a step further by putting ourselves into the space where we can give you more information about immigration, give you the information that you need to know so that you can differentiate when something is right, when something is false. And also, we do the research for you on understanding certain elements of immigration so that you don't get caught with your pants down, when you're not too late in the space of immigration. All right. So this is what we are doing for you. So as Trevor was saying, not just you reach out for us, but tell your friends about who we are and what we do. Eventually down the line, it has been a thought in your mind that you would want to maybe immigrate. What does that look like? Even if you are not quite there yet, have a look at our information, have a look at the programs that we have that Trevor has mentioned, and start educating yourself on immigration. Maybe where you want to go, not necessarily one of our programs, but we do cover some elements of immigration to other countries as well. And one of our mottos is we want to eventually become a company that we don't turn anybody away, that we can help you either go to New Zealand or Australia, or, who knows, to maybe UK as well. All right. So that's why we created the green room space, excuse me, in order to educate people, not just on immigrating from A to B, but in the whole process, what it will look like. So we have done webinars with experts in their field on financing, on immigrating with stuff, immigrating, what do the schools look like, what is the psychology of immigration, a lot of things that people don't think about. And we've created this space, and we've done over 50 of these webinars, and we want to encourage you that if you haven't heard of us, or if you've looked at some of our webinars, go onto our YouTube channel and go and look at all the other webinars that we have had, and look at one of the ones that might be relevant to where you are in your immigration space. All right. And we've also started a thing called Just Some Fun Facts About America. And for the people that are in our program, just some of the stuff that they don't know about. Okay, so your people that are going to go to America, obviously you are going to be adopting a new currency. It's something called the dollar, if you haven't heard of that before. Also, it's various different names. It's called dead presidents. It's called the greenback, whatever you want to call it. Right. So here are some facts about the currency, just because we are going to be talking about currency today. So I thought it would be relevant to our topic. So this article was published in 2017. So I don't think it is, some of the numbers are that accurate, but this is still pretty cool. So today there is about $1.5 trillion of currency in circulation. So it might be a little bit more, because the Yanks has almost doubled their print since over the last couple of years. So this is about 4 years ago. So this is stuff that probably wouldn't have changed. The green ink was originally used to prevent counterfeiting, as black and white cameras were often used to create photographic fakes. So when paper money designs came in standardized in 1929, the green ink remained because that color was plentiful and had positive connotations. Another fact is, this is pretty cool. A normal sheet of paper can withstand about 400 folds before it breaks. A dollar bill can be folded at least 8,000 times. So I don't know who's been that bored. If you want to try and see if you can fold a dollar bill 8,000 times, but good luck. But let us know, please. If once you've got there, let us know how many times you've actually meant to follow it, to fold it. Another one, paper bills are also made of the same material. So this is from 1929, when they started doing these things. It's made of 75% cotton and 25% linen. All right. This special blend is patented by Crane and Company, which has been the sole supplier of banknote paper in the US since 1879. It's pretty cool. Let's maybe do one or two more before it becomes too much of this. Over 2/3 of the $100 bills are held outside of the United States. I think I've heard that before sometime. Maybe do one more. Okay, more than 70% of the new notes will be used directly for replacing damaged notes. All right, so that gives you a bit of idea, a bit of background of your new currency that you would be adopting when you will follow one of our programs successfully to the United States. All right, Trev, you want to do a bit of a welcome introduction?
Yeah, just before I do that, one of my fun facts was that you could buy a 2-liter Coke for $1. You can't buy a 2-liter Coke for R1.
Yeah, no.
or for 14 Rand, be that.
Well, listen, if you go to Burger King, you can get your Coke for free, well.
But guys, we're super excited today. We have got from Currency Partners in South Africa, we have got Lee with us today. Lee, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us today. It's really nice to have you on the green room with us. You know, I know we've got a little bit of a bio on you, but it's always nicer to just hear a little bit from you as a person. Tell us a little bit more about who you are, how you got to be with the company that you're at, and obviously what exactly we can look forward to listening to today in terms of what does Currency Partners do.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's a great privilege to be in the green room conversation. I'm very excited. It's the first time I've done something like this. I am a little bit nervous, but I think as we get going, I should be okay. I'm Lee. I've been married for 22 years. I have two boys, a 16-year-old and a 13-year-old. And I've been involved in foreign currency in a Forex world for most of my career. I'm not going to tell you how long that is because it's very long. But yeah, so I started working years and years ago in F&B and predominantly was within the foreign exchange department, moved around. And it's a very exciting world to be in because it's ever changing. Every day there's something new. You know, the laws changes, the limits change that people can use. I've worked on the private space with clients who are sending money in and out in their private and individual capacities, as well as I'm a corporate specialist as well. I left FNB at the end of 2019 to join a bank, a very small bank in South Africa. And unfortunately, I was headhunted to help them grow their Forex book and their Forex portfolio and stuff like that. I was one of quite a few guys who joined them from different speciality fields in the Forex world. And due to COVID and some difficulties that they faced, two of the investors pulled out. So a third of the company was retrenched, and I happened to be one of those guys, first in, first out kind of thing. And yeah, I was at home for 5 months, and Currency Partners approached me. And yes, I joined them on the 1st of February. They're a dynamic company. I'm so happy to be part of this team. They were founded in 2013. Our CEO is Ike Fultz, and he has grown the company to just on 40 people. I think we've just employed another 3 people this month who started this week with us. COVID was very difficult initially, but with the advancements that the company's done, they've changed the way they work. You know, they've gone completely digital. They were able to move leaps and bounds for their clients during lockdown, and hence taking on a complete new staff of 10. So they grew from 30 to 40 during COVID, which has been a very difficult time for many companies in South Africa. So I'm very grateful that you know, my path led the way it went, because I've joined this team and it's absolutely phenomenal. We've got a team of specialists. We have head offices in Cape Town, where our operations and the CEO sits. We have an office in Rosebank. There's 5 salespeople up here in Johannesburg, and we have an office in KZN, one of my colleagues is down there. And we literally support clients from individual perspective through to corporate clients, helping them externalize funds in terms of allowances, immigration. We do imports and exports for our clients. We have clients who perhaps are foreigners wanting to bring money into South Africa and need a channel and a way to do this seamlessly from abroad, and yeah, and that's how we help our clients. We partner with a lot of big companies as well, estate agents, with financial advisors. We're on the, you know, we preferred Forex suppliers for some big names out in the market. And yeah, we're the biggest foreign exchange provider in South Africa from a private perspective, and we're looking to grow our corporate book as well. So I think that's pretty much me in a nutshell. I love my job. I love foreign exchange. I love being in sales because of the people that I meet every day. It's quite frustrating being a salesperson and being out on the road and meeting people, and now having to be stuck at home and you can't get to actually meet a actual physical person. But we've made it work. We're doing our Teams meetings, and we're out there, and I know there are a lot of clients who are finding it difficult and are just doing kind of contingency plans to make sure their businesses float for the next few months. But we are front of mind, and we have a good value offering that we offer our clients, and hope to grow from strength to strength from here. That's us.
That's brilliant. That's a lot of good information for people, and they get a much better idea of who you are and who they can deal with. So, Lee, I think I was obviously in a similar space for quite a long time. I was a stockbroker for a while, and it's a thing that is not quite understood by people. Really how to. Forex is always known, it is out there, but people don't really understand, and that's why they have got the idea that the only place you can do this is with a local bank. You always have to just go through a local bank and follow the process with how it works, and that's why it's brilliant that there are companies that have started doing these things for people to bring these products a little bit closer to them and give them the understanding of it. I mean, that's why, I mean, is that what your guys' approach is also, is just to be a little bit more closer to the people?
Absolutely. Lenny, we are a very relationship-based team as well. We like to understand our clients. The banks are great and they serve their purpose. And I mean, I've worked in the big banks before, but it's nice for our clients. Doesn't matter what turnover they do. Are they an individual? Are they a corporate client? We offer our services across all spectrums of our clients. So for instance, you have a client who's maybe doing a couple $1,000, bringing in his salary to his family in South Africa, or maybe he wants to send money offshore. We don't differentiate between the services we provide our clients, where in a bigger banking space, your client might be pushed to an online platform, which is fantastic, it works, but when you need to speak to somebody, it can be a little bit difficult, and all of our clients have access to a dealer, have access to us on the ground in terms of sales. Are there any new developments? So we pride ourselves in the service and the turnaround times that we can provide to our clients.
Brilliant. Yeah, very good.
So, Lee, before we sort of talk about this on a high level, let's just quickly unpack this from an operational perspective for a second, if I may. Lenny and I often talk about the fact that we're in the program, so it's very nice for us to personalize this, right? So, so let's say I was now going to need to make a payment through, for example, for my immigration process, and I was doing a payment from South Africa, and I wanted to do a payment through to America. How would that work with you guys as a company? Would you give me a specific account? Just walk me through that a little bit, from a perspective of going, I'm green in this area. What would happen?
Yes. So it's a very easy process. Our clients would register on our website and complete all of their personal details. They would upload their proof of ID and their FICA, so proof of address. That comes through to us. That online application takes about 3 minutes. It really is just kind of like populating the fields. What is the source of funds? Where the currency that you're gonna use. That then goes through to our back office. They would then populate all of the account opening documents, and once they have all of that, we use a system called DocFox. So that does all of the checks in the background, verifies IDs and addresses and stuff like that. So we don't require hard copies of any documents for application forms because of the systems that we use. We do work through Investec. They're our partner. So our private clients' accounts would get opened through Investec. Our client services would complete the application forms. It gets emailed back to the client. The client signs that digitally, and then it comes back once they've completed everything. It's literally just signing. It takes a couple seconds to sign all of the details. It comes back to our team, and within 8 hours, they would have that account open. So it's what we call a CCM account. So it's a holding account. It's not a transactional account that you would get a banking card for to be able to use offshore or anything like that. We literally open that to help our clients facilitate the payments out. So they would do a transfer into that account. Our dealer that's ready to do a trade, provided all of the regulatory stuff from an FX perspective is in order. The dealer would say, right, you're ready to trade. How much you wanting to do? I need to transfer $10,000. Give them the banking details. The client actually loads the banking details as well to where the funds are going to go. We have a lot of security checks as well to make sure that the client's details are all correct and where we're sending the funds to. The dealer will book the exchange rate, and then we will process the payment to the client's account, nominated account offshore. So it's a very easy process. If there are any regulatory concerns or needs, say for instance tax clearances, the client doesn't have sufficient funds on the different allowances, we actually can facilitate those, the tax clearances, and we offer those as a free service to our clients. So we incorporate those charges that the client would generally pay through their accountant or tax practitioner. We don't pass that charge back onto our client, and once we have approval, if it needs tax clearance, we then process the transfer for the client.
Okay.
Lisa, what would you suggest? Sorry, Karen.
Sorry, Len. Just before, I did see on your website that you had obviously a register as a business, a personal, and if I remember correctly, then a partner. I did see that on the website side of things.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So effectively, then we get an Investec account. We would transfer the rands into that account, and then you would do the transactional Forex effectively off the back of that.
100%. And also, so what's nice about us is we don't need the funds to reflect. So say, for instance, we've opened the client's account today and the client is quite anxious because the exchange rate is very favorable. They want to book that rate. All they need to do is give the dealer proof of payment that they've done a transfer, because sometimes depending on the bank that they're using, the funds might not show immediately. It will only show the following day. If it's a weekend, probably only on the Monday or Tuesday. Provided we have proof of funds from FNB or Standard Bank, wherever they're doing the transfer, our dealers will transact on that and actually book a rate and then pay the funds off for the client. So it's just a nice way that the client has that access and doesn't have to wait 2 or 3 days. We're happy to book on confirmation that they've funded that account from their bank.
Good. So if I can just maybe make it a bit more detailed as an understanding. Okay, say for instance, now I have just sold my house, right? But and the money is in my bank account, and but I want to try and convert most of the money. So obviously, how it works with some of our applicants, or most of our applicants, is that they wouldn't have American bank accounts yet.
Okay.
So, but they would want to maybe get and move their money to the States or into a dollar understanding as soon as possible. Okay.
Yes, to leverage off whatever the exchange rate is at that point in time.
Correct. Yeah. So they're happy to take, say, for instance, where it is at the moment at 14.38 or whatever. They're happy to say, this is my risk. I want to move all my money into this, but I don't have an American bank account.
Yes.
Can the guys do this at the moment? Can they, for instance, move whatever money they want into a dollar account in their local currency and leave it there?
Absolutely.
And move it across with you guys to the relevant parties that side with time? They don't have to move it back to rands or anything like that, but can they move it from the dollar account to you guys? How does that work?
Absolutely correct. So we would then open a dollar account for the client at the same time. So when they're doing the application, they can actually indicate on that 3-minute app on our website that they need a dollar account. There's no obligation, and there's no cost to having those accounts either. So, I mean, I would just say, if they're waiting for a bank account, rather just open the dollar account and the rand account at the same time. We then, exactly what you do, provided they're within their allowances and we have the tax clearance, should they have utilized the 1 million rand and they need to dip into the foreign investment allowance, we can then book that trade, park it into their US dollar FCA account and leave it there. So the Reserve Bank over the years has become quite relaxed. You could never do that years ago. So provided the client is using his allocated allowances and he has the limits available, those funds get parked in there and they can stay in there indefinitely because we've used the 1 million rand or the 10 million rand for an investment allowance. And when he's ready to send it offshore to a nominated account, all we do is just then transfer the funds, and he's pegged in at that rate on that day, and he's covered his risk on the exchange rate.
So tell me then, Lee, the dollar account would then be, for example, in my name or Lenny's name.
Yes.
That then, is that also interest bearing for the time that it sits here prior to then?
So the rand denominated accounts, yes, they are. The dollar account, it depends on the balance in the dollar account, and the interest rate that would be earned. Because those interest rates are very flat around the world, so it's very balanced.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose it's also it's it's used for a purpose, if we can put it to you that way. I think, like Lenny's saying to you at the moment, there's one thing about, okay, I'm paying for my fees and I'm paying for immigration processing, whatever the case may be. So it's a transactional effect, right?
Yes.
When we're talking about we've sold our house or assets and we're wanting to move money into our dollar account, and we can't get to the States at the moment and open up those accounts, that is then a separate equation.
Definitely. Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
No, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, this
And
is
just a nice way to hedge the client's risk if they have the funds available. And I mean, the rand is so volatile against the different currencies and that. And, sometimes it's better the devil, and if you want to peg it at 14.38, you don't know how long that period of time could take before you get the account open offshore, so then you can at least have it ready.
Yeah. Excellent. Lee, obviously, we know that FNB is extremely good with this. You come from the world of FNB, so you'd also know they do have dollar accounts that one could use and transact on an online system. Is the system that you guys offer similar to that is online, that you could see and look at different things? I think what is nice about what you're saying is, very often Lenny and I joke about this. You want to do something with your internet and you start talking to a bot. You want to do something and you got to talk. So I think what is nice about what I can hear from you guys is that you do have that personal relationship. But for everyone that's busy watching today, is it similar to having an online platform, or is everything face-to-face type of thing?
So when it comes to transacting, we would do all of the paperwork for the client. So if you were needing to do a payment offshore, so where you have an FNB client who has to log into online banking and do their transfer themselves and load the beneficiary, here the client still loads their own beneficiary. From a security point of view, we will then phone the client and check that everything is correct, and just to make sure that the client has loaded those details, there's no interceptions being made on their emails and stuff like that.
Sure.
But we don't have the online capabilities like the big banks do. However, saying that, is where we're a little bit different is when you're doing it through a bank, whatever rate they give you, you have to accept. So where we offer a little bit of a value add is you will be allocated a dealer, and that dealer will be your guy for the rest of your time with currency partners, and you'll build up a relationship with them. And they'll even, what we offer our clients as well is market. We watch the market for the clients. We put in stop losses for the clients as well. And like I said earlier, we don't differentiate between your transactions $100,000 where we only want a $10 million transaction to do those kind of things. You can phone the dealer and say, I'm looking for around 14.20. What do you think is going to happen? Can you watch the markets for us? And they will actually do that and give you a call and say, Lee, Lenny, Trevor, your rate's coming close, or the market's about to blow off and go the other way. What do you want us to do? Where, with the bigger banks, depending on your relationship, and it's generally a corporate client that they would offer those kind of direct dealing solutions to, where we offer that to all of our clients. And it's about the value add that we offer our clients at the end of the day, all of the extra stuff that we do for them. So no, we don't have an online platform, but certainly all the back end stuff, the transfers, the paperwork, we do the reporting for the client. We will handle all of that. Takes just that headache away from you. So if you've got a client who's maybe in transit and traveling and hasn't set up, phones and internet access, we would then be able to do all of the paperwork and the transactions behind the scene for the clients.
So Lee, this is just me being a trader that wants to know this now. So say for instance that the client is not ready to move his money into a dollar account yet, but he wants to protect a certain level of the dollar. I mean, what trades can you guys offer, or protection can you guys offer? Say for instance, what the client doesn't want is that he doesn't want another scenario where if we go through another pandemic and the rand shoots up to 18, 19, because we had that at the beginning for some of the partners that joined the program when it was trading at 14, and then all of a sudden their program became just 30%, 40% more expensive. Is there something you guys can offer the clients that they can say, listen, I know what my downside is for my immigration process is X?
Yes. So I mean, we can obviously, so getting tax clearances and those kind of things. So the tax process, or let me rephrase that, the immigration process was previously known as formal immigration, and it's changed to tax migration. There's a lot of different components, and there's a lot of things that have changed in that process. And one of them is now, so you did previously have to get tax compliance for immigration, but now you have to get a tax compliance certificate to move funds. So you would get that once you were formally immigrated, you would then be able to have 20 million rand every year going forward, provided you had the funds. Where now is every year, if you have funds that stay in South Africa, you would have to apply every year for tax clearance. So that process can take some time. And, with SARS and their capacity with COVID and stuff like that, they have also been impacted. So whereas before COVID, we were seeing maybe 5 to 7 days to get a tax clearance certificate authorized for our clients, we sometimes could see it going to 21 days because that is the standard turnaround time. So absolutely, you want to protect your exchange rate. You want to say, I need to lock in, what can we do? So we can also book forward exchange contracts for our clients. So that's a way to protect and mitigate their risk. So, like we saw a couple of weeks ago, the rand was very, very strong. We had some clients lock into a forward exchange contract to say, look, I know that my tax clearance is going to take some time. With tax clearance, we can actually book up to 3 months. Provided the tax clearance has been done through us, so we have proof that our tax practitioner has submitted it. We also do the special tax clearance, so that if a client would like to externalize funds more than the 10 million rand and have utilized their 10 million rand, we can do that as well. And those can take a lot longer from SARS to get clearance, and then you need Reserve Bank approval as well. So yes, we can put a hedge in place for a client for 10 days, a week, or 2 months, or whatever the case may be, provided it's not longer than 3 months, just to protect their risk on the if the rand goes on the downside. If the rand continues to strengthen, you are locked into an exchange rate. That rate is a contract. So you can't all say, well, now I was booked in at 14.38, the rand's at 14.10, I want to take that rate. It is a contract, so you have to take it at that rate. Sure. But in that sense, is if the rand had blown out and it had gone to 15 or 16, you've at least protected your risk on that. So yes, we do offer that to our corporate clients as well as our private individual clients. What's nice about us is we don't need to do a credit check. So whether you're a corporate or an individual, we do require security. An individual is 20%. So we would put 20% of the rand equivalent into an interest-bearing account for you. And you would earn interest on those funds during that period, and it's in your name. You wouldn't be able to touch it. That's just to protect in case the deal doesn't go through, or you don't get the tax clearance, or whatever the case may be, that if there are any losses on that transaction, that would cover those transactions. But we do take a collateral of 20%, but it's something very new that we offer our clients to protect themselves on the exchange rates.
So just
Sorry, we also do stop losses. So like, say for instance, they have a best rate and the worst rate. Our dealers will have a chat to them, especially like over weekends and stuff like that, where the market still could be quite volatile. Or if we're on a holiday, they'll put in stop loss. What is the worst rate and what is the best rate? And if it goes the best rate, it would trigger, and the client would get that rate when we're back in the office.
So just on that, on the time timelines that you offer 3 months protection.
On an individual client. That is correct. Yes.
So does it mean that obviously you have to roll forward every 3 months? Every 3 months you got to do a new transaction.
If we didn't have the approval in place that needed to facilitate that transaction, correct? Yes.
Okay, cool. Because our program takes roughly at the moment between 18 to 24 months.
Okay.
Before they actually go to the States. So they would probably have a period of maybe a year where they would probably want to say, okay, I'm happy to move my money today, but I only want to pay for it in a year's time or something like that. But I want to know that I'm going to protect it in this bracket.
Yeah. We might then be able to do request approval from the Reserve Bank. But what's very different to us, we sit down with our clients, our individual clients and our corporate clients, and we do a full needs analysis on their situation. What is their plan? What is their long-term goal? How long is it going to take, so that we give them the best advice in terms of their foreign exchange, their tax migration, and that, to get them to the point where they want to be. We don't just open an account and leave the client to do his own thing. We work with that client and we sit with them to understand their business, understand their family scenario of what it entails, in order to then give them the best situation for them moving their money and to eventually get to their destination.
Perfect.
So if I may ask, and I'm not too sure if you are at liberty to disclose this, but obviously for these services there's a fee. There's there's two things that come into play over here which your company does. The first one is assistance in terms of Forex, right? The other one is then the tax immigration, which one might need to look at a little bit later down the path. And I think just for clarity, that everybody understands, you have an immigration and then you have a tax immigration in terms of financial immigration. So if a lot of the people that are in our program at the moment are obviously going to be looking at moving their money into dollars. What would that fee look like with your company in terms of meeting with you, discussing it, unpacking it? Can you walk us through that?
Yes, definitely. So 2 scenarios. If it's just a fact-finding expedition and the client is looking at moving funds offshore, they need an account to get the funds either into a dollar account and then to later get the US dollar, account in the USA for us to transfer the funds there. There's no fees for that. If our clients, we have 2 allowances. We have the 1 million rand single discretionary allowance, and we have the 10 million rand foreign investment allowance. If the client needs tax clearance for the 10 million rand, so they've either exceeded that or they are regular travelers and they need to use that 1 million rand purely for travel, we will apply for that tax clearance. We don't charge our clients for that. Our accounts, there's no cost for our accounts. We would then have a transaction fee when processing the payment. It depends on the value of the transaction, but there's a flat fee for that transaction, depending if the client is saying, I'm going to pay all of the South African charges, or I'm going to pay the South African charges and the offshore charges. We have a flat fee. It's not a scaling fee, if I can call it on that. And there's no fees for all of that. And then obviously whatever the exchange rate is. We currently have done a few exercises and we save our clients between 1 and 3% on the exchange rates with the bigger banks. We're a tier 1 client of Investec, so we get preferential rates and we pass those on to our clients. When it comes to actually at the time where the client is now ready to do the full tax migration process, we do have a fee for that because we have a tax practitioner that will help our clients with all of the tax formalities. We do the withdrawal. It's changed now. So previously, when you had done your immigration and had SARB approval, you could then withdraw your retirement annuities and that. You no longer can do that. You have to be out of South Africa for 3 years. We facilitate that whole process for the client. For an individual client, it's 15,500 rand for that whole process. And for a family unit, it's 19,500. But if that process takes 3 years to get it off the ground, and once the client is settled and the funds have left and everything, that is what we charge for the tax migration. but all of the other services are value add for our clients.
Brilliant. Thank you very much,
Excellent.
Lee. I mean, I think
Pleasure.
we've covered the high level things, and we've covered some details on Forex. I mean, this is something that if you are in our program, you will have to deal with. And obviously, if you're not even just in our program, they do deal with other currencies as well. You don't necessarily have to do all your stuff into dollars. You can do pounds and euros with them as well. They do cover all of the other markets. But Lee, we've come to the end of our time. I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for you come and telling us about your company and what you guys do and how you can assist. I truly hope that our panelists and the people listening to our green room will make use of your services and maybe just go and have a chat to you guys and see what you can offer, as people would do. People would probably just shop around and see who offers what. But I do hope that people will get in touch with you. And just for that, Lee, how can people get hold of you?
So I have a cell phone, which they're welcome to give me a call on. My email address, it's lee.spykerman. I don't know if that is easy to remember.
Yeah, and it's also allowed to say that online. It's fine.
lee.spykerman. It's SPYKERMAN @currencypartners.co.za. Or send an email on our website through to our info, and they'll then put you in, just say you need to speak to Lee, and they'll put you in contact with myself. But available for Teams calls. I mean, even if there's no business that comes from this, if a client just wants to ask some questions, happy to help and guide them into what's the best solution. We firm believers that if we can't help the client, we will be very transparent and say, whoever's helping you is the best guy to do the job, and leave it them. But hopefully they will think we are the best guy for the job.
Excellent. Yeah, I think I will be in touch with you guys soon as well.
Thank you.
Lee, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. It was great to have you as part of the green room, and we appreciate the time that you've afforded to all of us.
Thank you so much.
We'll also send your details out to everybody that's part of the program at the moment, in case they'd like to get a hold of you. Perfect. And we trust that you'd be able to help them in the right way as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thanks very much, Lee. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks' time in the green room. Thanks.
Bye-bye. Bye.